Hey tubes, JD here. I'm working on cleaning up some parts in some this chem dip, Berryman chem dip. I've disconnected the connecting rod from the piston on the Toro engine, and I want to take these rings off. I don't want to reuse them. I'm going to keep them as spares, but I'm not going to reuse them. I'm going to put fresh rings on this because we're going to try to hone out the bore of this aluminum cylinder, which some people may think, it's not worth doing, you shouldn't do it. Maybe some people would say, good idea, go for it. It's a trash picked lawnmower, so I have nothing to lose, so I'm going to try it. So I want to talk about ring removal before I dunk this in the chem dip. I just want to get some of this carbon off. These rings, when I move them around, I can feel grittiness in there. I don't know if it's carbon or some kind of grit. That's not a good thing, but we need to give it a good cleaning. You can use a tool called a ring expander to take these off, or let me try to get this in frame for you. You can simply get it off with your fingers by holding it down. Okay, try to keep this in frame, and you're just going to walk this around. Okay, until, carefully walk it around until, see, it's off. Forgive me for not being in frame. I'm working on that. Like I said, I'll keep these as spares. I want to put new rings on this when it comes time. But yeah, hold down this side, push from the back, hold down one finger. Just going to pop it out. We're just going to kind of walk it off. Okay. On some engines, some pistons, it may be pretty tough to do that. A lawnmower engine, you don't need a special tool. You just do that. Oil control ring. I don't know if you can see. I'll show you. A lot of people know. If you don't, there's a spring in there. Okay, it's the same kind of deal. We're going to expand it. We're going to remove it. And it's going to come off. Like that. And then we have this spring in here. And carefully we pop it off. So it's a spring. It's got a little wire in it. That's what kind of, see? You can put it in that groove in the oil control ring and then slide it back like that. Exactly what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put it back on here. Although not going back in this engine, we'll keep it as a spare part. If we break one on another project, we need something in a pinch, we can just throw this in. So yeah, so I'm not going to fiddle around with this too much. These, I'm not even going to put them in our good parts bin. Just going to put them off to the side, deal with it later. So we have this one. Clean off the carbon. So we're going to put it in the chem dip, and I figured it would be a good time to do the carburetor as well. So I'm going to take this apart. Before I do, there's a lot of dirt and debris. Yeah, that's normal, from mowing grass and all that. I'm going to get this stuff off with a fine brush and maybe some carburetor spray cleaner before I take these parts off and put it in the chem dip. I don't like to contaminate this with extra dirt and all that. I get things kind of pre-cleaned. What the chem dip does, Berryman chem dip. I'm just going to back out on the zoom real quick. If I could, let's see. And, just kind of cut this in frame here. Berryman chem dip, I don't endorse them. I don't work for them or anything like that. But it's a good product. They show right on here the kind of parts you can put in there, carburetor parts, piston parts, another carburetor there, you know, brake master cylinder, valves, lifters. You know, a lot of people say you can't put aluminum in there, but a lot of these parts are aluminum or zinc castings. We're going to throw these in overnight and try to wash them off. That's usually all it takes. This is frozen, so hopefully that'll loosen that up. The small little parts in there, like needle seats and all that, needles, you know, whatever little small parts, I'm not going to put in there because they might fall through the screen down to the bottom. Okay, I'm just going to show you something real quick on the chem dip. Pry this up. It's like a paint can. This stuff's a little expensive if you don't know about it, but I think it's good stuff. You know, I've had it for years. I take care of it. I don't put a lot of cruddy stuff in there. But you get this plastic tray. You don't want to get this stuff on your skin, but you know, don't be worried about it. So I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of a perforated bottom. You can put some small parts in there. You can. And they won't fall through. But I figured if we're going to do this, we may as well put parts for this in there too. Hit two birds with one stone. Let them soak overnight. And yeah, this stuff looks like black, kind of used nastiness in there, but it's good stuff. It's good carb cleaner. I got some on my skin. Don't do that. You're not supposed to, but you know, sometimes you do. Things like this, I'm not going to dip in there. You know, this cylinder head. I might paint some of that on there to try to dissolve some of this carbon, but we're not going to dip this whole part in there. Just going to do some small parts, especially the carburetor. That should clean this up enough to on the piston to get some of this carbon off. And so rather than go step by step with this, I'm just going to get to it and do it. When I put it back together, we'll go step by step on the reassembly of the carburetor. But for right now, let me get to that and then we'll get back to the next thing. Yeah, sorry about the last clip. You know, we didn't see the top of the can. It was out of frame for the chem dip, show you the tray and all that. We're going to do that. And I was just going to get to that after I disassemble everything. But I have to do another scene here to show you how bad this carburetor is. I've never seen anything worse. As a matter of fact, after I took the bolt off, securing this, here's our washer, here's our bolt, I couldn't get this off. I actually had to pry under this lip, this brass thing against this nipple to get it started. It was so glued on. This is a case where you just buy a new carburetor. Real quick, let me show you what I found. Okay, look at that varnish in there. I mean, this stinks. Okay, look at that varnish. It's not even sticky. It's like dried on. And it looks terrible underneath. I don't know if we can salvage this or not. This looks bad. Folks, this looks bad. Really bad. So we may need a new carburetor. I'm going to do the best I can with it, but I just had to show you that. Wow. Old Berryman's Chem Dip, you got quite a job to do, my friend. We'll be back when I dip this stuff. Alright, tubes, so what happened with the carburetor is I couldn't remove the float pin to get the plastic float off. So I took it outside to spray some spray carburetor cleaner on there to loosen things up. You know, I'm working in a basement shop right now. Always take things out if you're going to spray any kind of cleaners, carb cleaner, starting fluid, spray paint. Go outside. Those fumes, they can cause an explosion or fire for real. It's happened to people. So those parts are outside soaking. After the carburetor, spray carburetor cleaner, which actually cleaned off a lot of the outside, I still can't remove that pin. So I actually resorted to some of this stuff. This PB blaster. This stuff's great. It's kind of expensive. I don't have any air coil, which is probably better than this. So I sprayed it up with that. I'm going to let it sit overnight. I'm not going to waste any more time trying to get it in here. So we'll get to it. It's in frame here. We're just going to dip this tonight. and the carburetor will be on another episode. Enough wasting time with that. We'll see what we can do. I mean, maybe we can get it to be a good carburetor, but probably have to get a new one. No big deal. Alright, so what you didn't see before, because it was out of frame, was this plastic bucket. And you know, it's perforated on the bottom. So we're going to take our piston here. We're going to put it in like that. I'll put it upside down. And like that. Just going to dip it in there. Dunk it slowly. Put it on its side so we don't build up air underneath. That. Alright. I'm going to close it up again. And that's it. We'll leave it till tomorrow. Take it out. That carbon will probably wipe right off, or at least most of it. The carburetor, on the other hand, yeah, we'll do the best we can with it. It might just be parts when we're all said and done. There is one part, little gasket from there. We'll put it in the parts bin here. And I don't know. We didn't get everything I want to get done, but carburetor's outside and it's soaking in PB Blaster right now. Put our pistons in here in the chem dip. So until next time, good day, good night. JD1533, and I'm out.